Hi everyone, I'm Mark Oranzoni, and on behalf of my daughter Audrey, my wife Cynthia, who are the co-directors of the 4 Miler, and on behalf of the Charlottesville Track Club and our wonderful hosts, the Foxfield Board of Directors, I want to welcome you to the 39th edition of the Charlottesville Women's 4 Miler. A very special event in our life, a big fundraiser for the Breast Care Center at the university. Even during the pandemic, we've been able to raise funds for this critical care and our wonderful neighbors. I want to go over a few things before we do the course tutorial. As you can see, this is the entrance to Foxfield. It's just about time for the first time slot. It's about 6:20. Coolest time of day and by far the most beautiful with the dawn. You'll arrive either from the east, from Charlottesville, or from the west, from Whitehall or Crozet. But anyway, you'll come in and you'll enter onto the parking area, which is here. You get out, you put your mask on. We've had a little bit of pushback from a few folks about the mask situation, and yeah, it's uncomfortable and it's awkward to have it on. We all get it, but with an event with 300 people per time slot and with lots of young kids who are not vaccinated out here, we want to be as safe as possible and as responsible as possible. So just a little bit, 10-15 minutes of having it on is a small cry compared to folks struggling with cancer. I hate to put it that way, but and that's what our cause is. So anyway, keep the masks on if you can, and get out of your car. Of course, the dew will have the grass kind of wet, and just keep that in mind. Warm-up area is right straight ahead there, off of the main entranceway. Goes about almost a little over a third of a mile in one direction. You just stay out there to do your warm-up. When you're ready to go, you'll come up here. The porta-johns will be right here. Our starting line will be up at near the telephone pole there. So of course you can take your mask off at that point after you get going. All right, enjoy the tutorial that's coming up next. And thanks so much for supporting this special event and being so flexible and understanding this year with the situation. And again, we want to thank our friends at Foxfield for affording us this. Pretty doggone neat. Okay, bye.
And we're off. Okay, so first off, I just want to once again thank Foxfield Board of Directors for opening up this absolutely stunning venue for this special event. It's our 39th year, and we've enjoyed really lots of successful years with the event, but this is really special this year to once again have the course on grass. Of course, we're normally on the road. The first section, it's actually about the first mile of the course, is just gently downhill for most of the way, which is a nice way to begin. Normally I say go out easy as a coach, and as a race director I often tell people to go out slow, make your first half mile a warm-up, but in this case the course just pulls you downhill. So the footing overall is in good shape, but obviously it's grass, so you're going to be slower overall than you would on the road, but I always tell people give in, and racing is all about you on a given day, on a given course, against the rest of the field, especially particularly in your age group. So just enjoy it and give in to the gorgeous scenery. So again, I would take advantage of this first section. We're coming up on the half-mile mark, and really just lean forward a little bit off your ankles and let the momentum take you down, and ease into the first section here. The Charlottesville Track Club has put this event on, like I said, for 39 years, and Cynthia and I started it back in 1983, and over the years it's morphed over to our daughter Audrey directing it, and she's done a wonderful job again this year. And of course we had to shift gears because of the pandemic to come back onto grass, and we've had overwhelming number of folks sign up, so it's great. All right, so we're approaching about 3/4 of a mile in. You can see we've just been steadily going downhill. We're heading to the southern end of the property. Property was bought by Mrs. DeHada back in the late 70s. She was a horse enthusiast, and her whole goal was to set the facility up as a for perpetuity as a horse racing, steeplechase racing course, and it's preserved that way today. If you ran the race last year, there's a bit of a camber down in this section. We've really tried to avoid it this year by cutting the path more to the right. So stay to the right there. It's much flatter. And then the big change this year, if you ran it last year, is that there was a fair amount of feedback about the camber over from the mile mark up to about the 1.5 miles. So we've avoided that this year by taking you up right here at the mile mark, up a very steep but short hill. We're sorry about that, but it takes you up after the climb. So give in to the climb, ease back on it, and then once you get to the top here, you crest, and my gosh, this is really beautiful spot up here. You're up high, and you're paralleling the path from last year, which would be off to your right against the wood lot there along the fence line. And we're actually heading slightly downhill for most of this section now. So you avoid that entire long uphill that led you up to the house. Last year, we're just to the left of that and to the north of it. And beautiful section, of course, and we're gently going down. So once again, like any race, take advantage. You're into the 2nd mile now. Take advantage of the downhill and let it go, because the good portion of the second half of the 2nd mile is uphill. So gentle climb. We will rejoin the old path, the original path from last year. We'll just take a little jaunt across the gravel road here. And whether you're walking or running, this is, like I said, a good time to pick it up. Okay, here's the steepest descent of the entire course. It's just as you come around the house, you'll see the beautiful pond to the left, and it is just a super steep downhill. Again, let it go here. Really pick up the pace in here. If you're walking the course, or a faster runner comes up behind you, and they say track, or you sense they're coming up behind you, shift to the right and think of it like driving. The faster a car will go to your left, and so it's the same thing this week. And Gerald Shiflett, who's a groundskeeper out here, has done a wonderful job, absolutely beautiful job with grooming the course, and he's made the course extra wide. So here we pick up the gravel road. We're heading to the 2 mile mark. We're about probably 1.75 miles at this point. Slight uphill up the gravel road. You go by the hounds, the fox hounds that are off in the kennel to the right there, and you'll make that post will not be up. You'll hit the water stop there. We have one self-serve water stop on the course, and then you'll come through the racetrack onto the infield. You make an abrupt left, and we pick up the infield here, and this is a serpentine of paths. It's really neat. You get to see. We've always liked the communal. I want to talk about this. There's a steep uphill at this section. It's very short, and that rises you above the camber. That was folks commented about last year against the fence line, and we bring you down. Just past 2 miles there, brings you down along a flusher part of the course, which is a part of the path, which is nice. What I was saying, that just the communal aspect of the original road course we designed back in the early 80s was you go out and back and then out and back again, and you get to see your fellow runners and walkers at least twice during the race. And we never go back on ourselves on this course because of the design of the course was set up for COVID last year, so we always want to be going in one direction. But you can just see we made an abrupt hairpin turn, so you can obviously see the runners or walkers behind you here to your right as you're heading to the second section of this serpentine path within the infield. So the 3rd mile, the good part of the first half of the 3rd mile is just gentle uphill climb. So you're over halfway into the race at this point, so you can push it a little bit. You don't have to ease back on the uphill like I had you do at the mile mark there, where you really got to get into that steep mile. And here we go, another hairpin turn. So again, you get to see your fellow runners. It's almost like one of those switchbacks in the Italian Alps. You're back and forth, back and forth. This is where the cars park for the races. It's the infield section for the Foxfield races. And again, the course, thanks to a good bit of rain and Gerald's groundskeeping, it's in good shape. And yet another hairpin turn back, and you're heading back east again. We'll have volunteers all over the course thanks to the track club, Charlottesville Track Club. This is one of their jewel events of the year, and we'll have 35 folks out in the course with directing in the correct direction, and of course we'll have signage up also. Audrey and Cynthia both have done a good job this year once again of organizing this, and of course all the proceeds benefit our friends at the Breast Care Center at the university. And we have some wonderful sponsors this year. Dr. Wilder will have his team out from the UVA Runners Clinic. He'll be there at the halfway point and there at the finish line. All right, so the course really flattens out here at the latter part of the third mile, and this is where you can start to let it go a little bit. You've got just about a mile to go to the finish, and you really want to, if you're racing it, you want to start putting it down in here. Pick up the gravel road that'll cut right through the racetrack itself, and we're just going to pass. There's the 3 mile mark there. We'll have half mile, 1, 2, 3, and the 5K mark. When you come off of the racetrack, you'll cut across the sandy area. You're going to make an abrupt left and then hug the fence line. Make sure you look for the motivational mile posters in honor of folks that are battling cancer or in memory of those that we've lost over the years. It's a pretty emotional section of the course. Take a moment to take that in as you're cruising along here. Okay, so you pick up the driveway. We're heading due south again, like we were at the start, but obviously in a different part of the course. And this is downhill here. Take advantage. Go and just really put it down here. And then just as we're heading towards the house, you're going to make an abrupt right and pick up the grass again. And we are less than a half a mile to home. This is a neat section of the course. The grass lush and thick thanks to, again, all the recent rains. Great timing because it had been so dry. And you're coming up on Mrs. DeHade's gravesite. Like I said, she's the woman who started this all, 185 acre, beautiful property. And the new Foxfield board over the last few years has opened up the property to more and more events like this. It's wonderful. And of course the fall races are in first Sunday in October. I do hope folks will come out for that. It's a family day, very family oriented. All right, so last year you had the straightaway to the end, just a straight shot here, but because we did that cutoff to avoid that camber at the mile mark, the new course was short, so I had to do an add-on. And you'll see this is right about where we finished last year. And we've got a little dipsy doodle here, little button hook. So right there's the old finish. And make an abrupt left. And another button hook left, and you're coming back south again. And I did this to get you close to your cars at the finish, because we are encouraging folks as they finish up to get a drink, get a treat. If you need to visit Dr. Wilder, I hope not, but if you do, just say hi, and then you head on your way back home to cool down at home. Thanks, everyone. Okay, Ed, what do I do?